On the woman's wedding day, the scheming mistress her fiancé kept came to cause trouble. The woman tried to stop the man, but he backhanded her with a slap, and even shamelessly announced that the scheming woman was the wife he wanted to officially marry, while the woman could only be demoted to concubine, reduced to a tool for bearing his children. His mother was so angry she could barely breathe, because she had worked so hard to arrange this marriage. If the man didn't marry this woman with a fertile constitution, the family would likely have no heir. But the man completely ignored her advice. He picked up the scheming woman and tried to leave, even threatening the woman not to think about breaking off the engagement, or he would use his influence to make sure she could never marry anyone else. The woman never expected the man to be so vicious. Fortunately, her mother-in-law was reasonable, and immediately suggested the woman remarry to the man's adoptive father, only because the adoptive father was virtuous and stayed away from women. Had she been forced to let the man be adopted by him, now that the adoptive father had returned from war, he could marry the woman just in time. The woman thought if she forcibly broke off the engagement, she would surely be ridiculed by all of the capital, so she decided to marry the man's adoptive father. Since she couldn't be his bride, she would be his mother. That very night she successfully consummated the marriage with the adoptive father. The next day the woman prepared to select gifts for her newlywed husband, and unfortunately ran into the scumbag and the scheming woman. The scumbag thought the woman was stalking him, and raised his hand to slap her again, but unexpectedly the woman slapped him right back hard. The humiliated and furious scumbag threatened to divorce her, but the woman said he didn't have that authority at all. Then she and her maid prepared to go inside to select gifts. At this moment the scheming woman deliberately made trouble, ordering the shopkeeper to wrap up all the gifts the woman had chosen for her instead, but the shopkeeper didn't move an inch. Then the shopkeeper respectfully stated that this shop was the woman's dowry, so naturally he only listened to his mistress's orders. Hearing this, the scumbag drew his sword and pointed it at the woman, demanding she hand over the gifts to the scheming woman immediately. He took it for granted that the woman was about to become his concubine, so her dowry should also belong to him. So the woman instructed the shopkeeper to wrap everything up, but she never did business at a loss, and immediately had the shopkeeper calculate the full price for the scheming woman. Unexpectedly, these gifts were worth 600,000 taels of silver. This astronomical figure instantly left the scumbag and scheming woman speechless. At this moment, outside the door, the adoptive father who had finished handling military affairs came to pick up the woman. The scumbag, who didn't know any better, was still threatening the woman to hand over the gifts, or he would throw her out. But the woman directly ignored his threats, and turned to have her maid announce her current identity. The maid loudly announced that the woman had married the scumbag's adoptive father yesterday, and was now his stepmother. The scumbag was completely stunned.